And we're going live. It's Chris on Chris's Real Talk on YouTube for the first time in a long time. Right, it is Sunday the 16th of December. For those of you who are planning Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all nice and early. I've got a couple of videos in the pipeline still. I always say it, but it is always true. I've been doing a lot of videos on Facebook recently, hence the reason why I've not been on YouTube. However, stick with it. I know everyone's finding something to watch on here, and I'm really grateful for the amount of subs that I'm getting. I believe I'm nearly at 300. It's not a lot to many people that are up there in the thousands and even millions, but to me, I value every single one of my subscribers, and thank you very much for following me along on this little journey that we're having. So for those of you who don't know what the Mandela effect is, I suggest you YouTube that, because I can't do you know what, I'm going to try. The Mandela effect is an effect where there is a mass remembrance of something. That is remembrance of something. That is remembered in a different way to the way you would remember it. So if you know something that's always been one way, then all of a sudden it's changed. And yet for some reason it's always been that way, but you remember it being some way else. A prime example of that is Forrest Gump. You know, the classic line always has been in my reality, life is like a box of chocolates. No. Is it life is like a box of chocolates? That's it. Mama always said, life is like a box of chocolates. You don't know which one you don't get. Now, apparently, see, the Mandela effect is at the beginning of that little quote, because I remember that line as being, Mama always said life is like a box of chocolates. Chocolates. Apparently now, because of this Mandela effect, it's no longer it's life was like a box of chocolates. So that's what the Mandela effect is. It's little things, something subtle that, you know, you see one way, you've always known it to be one way, but it's completely different. It's changed. It doesn't exist anymore. You know, I'll give you one more example of that. You know, there's the Ford logo. There's always been a curly little bit on the Ford logo. It's changed. You know, I remember the curly bit being on the F. It's not there anymore. Anyway, my Mandela effect that I've found, I'm not sure if anyone else has found it. It may be a new one. I'm hoping it's a new one, because I've never heard of this one before. It's in Harry Potter, the first one. The first Harry Potter movie, I found a Mandela effect in Harry Potter. And for those who know Harry Potter, that have seen those films over and over again, that may have even read the books, you know, it's the scene where Harry is in Snape's class. He's in the potions class, right? And Snape is saying what potions can do. He's like, they can even put a stopper on death and all that, right? And Harry's writing stuff down. He's writing down all these things that potions can do. And Snape looks at him thinking he's not paying attention when he is. You know, and he starts asking Harry all these different questions. You know, he starts asking Harry, you know, what does this potion do? What does that potion do? How did you make this? How did you make that? And Harry sits there quite honestly and goes, I don't know, sir. And then Snape said, and this is where the Mandela effect comes in. He says, in my reality, the way I've always known this film, the way I've seen this film countless times, and I know the film word for word by and large, Snape says, celebrity isn't everything. Celebrity isn't everything. But for some reason, this line has changed. Apparently in Harry Potter now, when Snape asks Harry all these different potions, and Harry doesn't know the answer to any of these, apparently now it's been changed to fame isn't everything. And I said my reality is celebrity. He doesn't say fame, he says celebrity. Celebrity isn't everything. Snape says it. You know, it's like I was watching it with my son last night. He's watching it for the first time, you know, and I've seen the film so many times I actually can't remember, and I'm sitting there mouthing it word for word, and instead of me mouthing the word celebrity and Snape saying celebrity, You know, he says fame. And he says fame and my lips go, I'm like, Well, that's not right. That's not right. Oh my God, Mandela effect. You see, I've been following the Mandela effect for a long time, and I found one in Harry Potter. So if anyone can correct me on this, if I'm wrong, you know, my reality has always been, always has been, Snape says celebrity isn't everything. When Harry can't answer his questions in the potion class, Harry says, no sir, I don't know. And Snape says, clearly celebrity isn't everything. And now he says fame isn't everything. I think I found a new one. I think I found a new one. If I haven't found a new one, and it's just me being crazy cuckoo, then let me know. But please check it out. If anyone can find any reference to this Mandela effect, drop a comment in the box below. If you remember it being the way I remember it, being celebrity isn't everything, let me know. You know, if you remember it as always being, you know, fame isn't everything, again, let me know. Tell me what your reality is of this Mandela effect, because this is something that's been driving me nuts for about 2 years now, and it is driving me nuts. You know, there was another one I found online recently about Dr. Dre, Beats by Dre. Now I remember always those headphones, that brand has always been Beats by Dre. Beats by Dre. It's always been Beats by Dre. It just falls off the tongue. Beats by Dre. Apparently, and I can't say if this is 100% the reality now, but apparently it's not Beats by Dre anymore. It's Beats by Dr. Dre. And obviously he's Dr. Dre. Everyone knows he is Dr. Dre, but the brand's always been Beats by Dre, and now apparently it's Beats by Dr. Dre. So there's lots of different Mandela effects popping up. Obviously Shazam is probably one of the most famous ones, along with you know, Forrest Gump. But my Mandela effect is in Harry Potter, the original film, the first film. You know, I actually haven't read the book, so I can't say what it says in the book or not. I don't know. But Snape says to Harry, in this reality, you see, it's not my reality. I remember this, and like I said, I've seen this a lot. I must have seen this film in reality around about 30 or 40 times. I love Harry Potter, you see. So when I watch that scene, and I've always seen Snape say celebrity isn't everything when Harry can't answer the question in the potions class. In the potions class. You know, and it's like now it's just changed. It's like, why? Why would you do that? Why? Why would this reality be crossing over into another? I don't get it. Because apparently it's not celebrity isn't everything, it's fame isn't everything. I mean, unless I'm wrong, unless I'm going completely nuts, you know, please someone correct me, because this is driving me mad. You know, there's so many different things. Even with the Matrix, apparently one of the most famous lines in the Matrix doesn't exist anymore. And if you haven't even heard of this one, okay, there's a line in the Matrix, and you could say this line, anyone could say this line, and I would know exactly who says it. Morpheus says this to Neo. All right, he says to Neo, what if everything you knew was a lie? You see, what if everything you knew? That line there is a classic The Matrix line that Morpheus says to Neo. Apparently, and I need to watch the movie again to you know, substantiate this. Apparently that line didn't exist. That line didn't exist in the movie. And yet if you was to say to me, what if everything you knew was a lie? I would quite happily tell you Morpheus. Morpheus to Neo, first movie. Apparently that doesn't exist anymore. So I'm now, it's such a hard life. I'm gonna have to watch The Matrix. Oh, what is a fella to do? You know, I mean, I'm waiting for there to be a Mandela effect on, say, the Titanic. I'm waiting for that one. You know, both in reality and in the movie. I'm waiting for someone to say, oh, the Titanic didn't split in two. No, the whole thing went down in one. I'm waiting for that one to come out. And I'm also waiting for someone to say, my reality of Titanic the movie Rose was a really beautiful young lady, and the reality now is that she's a transgender shim. You know. It's probably, and then that'll be the reality forevermore. You know, Rose won't be Rose, she'll be Rosie and Jim. You know, it's just one of those things. But the Mandela effect has been driving me crazy, realistically, for about 2 years. And it's when you find a new one that you think no one's discovered before, something that twigs in your brain. It's like, that this isn't right. You know, it's one of those moments that you think, yes, I found one. Yes, I found the new Mandela effect. And then it's a case of maybe someone else may have found it, or maybe I'm going crazy. So this is my question to everyone. Am I going crazy, or is it a new Mandela effect I've actually found? Please let me know. It is in Harry Potter, the first movie, in the potions class with Harry and Snape, where Snape says to the class what potions can do, that you can even negate death, you know, and then Harry's writing all this stuff down. He's paying attention, but Snape sees his face looking down. You know, he's thinking Harry's not listening, that he's not paying attention. So, you know, he then says, Harry, what would you get if you crossed this with that? What would you get if you mixed this with this? And Harry's quite honest. He's looking up, he's going, I don't know, sir. I just, you know, I don't know. It's my first year in wizarding school. You know, I've never been a wizard before. I didn't even know I was a wizard until about, what, 3 weeks ago. So I don't know what these answers are, you know. And Snape turns around and says, fame isn't everything. That's not how it's supposed to be. It's changed. In my reality, the Mandela effect has changed that line. In my reality, it's not fame isn't everything. It's celebrity isn't everything. That's how I remember that movie. I've seen it at least 30 or 40 times. That line sticks in the brain. It's the sort of thing you mime as Snape says it. Celebrity isn't everything. But not fame isn't everything. It just doesn't sound right. It's not right. It just doesn't work like that. You know, Snape says, in my reality, celebrity isn't everything, to Harry Potter in the potions class in the first movie. Now he says fame isn't everything. And I really, really want to know if I'm going mad, or if you remember it the way I remember it, or if you remember it the way it is now. Fame isn't everything. Let me know. Drop a comment in the box below. If it's the first time joining me, hi, Chris on Chris's Real Talk. Hit that subscribe button. It's somewhere down there somewhere. Hit the notifications button. Feel free to share absolutely every video. I apparently, according to Mac, I'm going mad. No, I'm not going mad. I may be a little bit going mad. But it is driving me absolutely nuts, because there's been so many different Mandela effects. And Mac, I tell you what, if you haven't seen anything to do with the Mandela effect, YouTube Mandela effect. Don't just watch this video and think I'm going crazy. No. YouTube is a rabbit hole that eventually you'll just get sucked into. You'll never claw your way back out of. You know, YouTube Mandela effect. I thought we were already made. No. We're slowly getting there. But if no one knows anything about the Mandela effect, please, for the love of God, don't just Google it. YouTube it. There are many people on YouTube with fantastic videos on the Mandela effect, and have lists of all the different effects that there are, that things that have changed in this reality compared to a different one. My Mandela effect today is what I'm going to tell you I discovered last night in the first Harry Potter movie, where Snape says to Harry, fame isn't everything. That's not the way it is in my reality, and I've seen this film a lot. Snape in my reality says to Harry in the potions class, celebrity isn't everything. It doesn't sound right when he says fame. It just doesn't. Celebrity isn't everything. You know, when you say it that way, it makes sense as something that Snape would say, because he'd say it slow. He'd say it very precise and with a certain tone of malice in his voice. Not fame isn't everything. He'd say celebrity isn't everything. And he'd say it and he'd pronounce every syllable the way it's supposed to be spoken, the way it's supposed to be pronounced. You know, he'd say it and relish at the fact that he's making Harry nervous. That is how Snape would say celebrity isn't everything. Not fame isn't everything. It just doesn't sound right when he says that, but apparently that's how it is now. That's how I watched it last night, but that's not how I've watched it 39 other times. It's always been celebrity, so something has changed. This reality must have crossed over into another one. I don't remember Snape ever saying fame isn't everything. It's always been celebrity isn't everything, and it's changed, and it's driving me mad. There's so many different Mandela effects out there that I believe now it's impossible to list them all. It must be impossible to list them all. You know, it is crazy. I mean, the whole thing started with Nelson Mandela. You know, he died within the last few years apparently, but I remember as a kid, my reality, I actually remember as a kid watching it on the news. Nelson Mandela has died in prison. That's what I remember. I'm not just saying this because, you know, I've seen it on YouTube. I'm saying this because I remember as a kid watching the news and people actually wearing his prison number. They were wearing shirts with his prison number on their t-shirts out of respect. But, you know, it all started with Nelson Mandela. He died in prison in the 80s. I saw this as a kid on the news. In fact, before anyone starts questioning that, all right, I'm 34. I was born in 1984. And before anyone starts saying you can't remember that far back, yes, I can. I can remember being in my nursery class when I was 2 or 3 with all my friends that I grew up with and all my teachers. So before anyone starts that, I've got one of those memories where I remember being pushed in my buggy, you see. And I think it's very rare for that to happen, but it does happen. I remember that far back, you know. Couldn't really say much of anything, you know, everything was a fun and game. But check out the Mandela Effect on YouTube. There's so many different credible YouTubers out there that have many great videos on Mandela Effect. If this is a new one for you, if this Harry Potter one is a new one for you, please give this video a like. I'm asking for trouble now. If you've heard of this one or if you think I'm chatting shit, give it a dislike, but please tell me why. I love feedback. You know, I will always reply to you if you want to message me as well. So anyway, I'm just getting to work. I found myself a fantastic parking spot, which is great for me today. Have a wonderful day.